listening to Modern Male Radio with Jerod Zavistoski and Sydney Hall, right here on LA Talk Radio.
What's up, everybody? I'm your host, Jerod Zavistoski, and you're listening to Modern Male Radio. This is all the stuff your mama should have told you and the shit your daddy never knew. And joining me tonight, as always, my co-host, Sydney Hall.
What's up, Modern Male Radio? How's it going?
And tonight, we've got a special guest. From the hit show on Bravo, Friends to Lovers, Sydney Hall has brought his co-host and co-star, Jin Mosley. Welcome, Jin.
Welcome,
Hi.
Jen. What's up?
Hi.
So, Jin, is Jin short for something, or is that the full name?
It's the full name.
Full name.
Yeah.
Does that mean anything?
It means different things.
What does it mean in Korean?
In Korean, it means beautiful.
Aw.
Hence, Jen Beautiful on her
I thought he had a
Instagram.
speech impediment for the longest time because he kept saying you were going to come on the show, and he's like, Jin, Jin, Jin. And I'm like, dude, it's Jen. You don't say it like that.
No, it's Jen, actually, right?
Yeah, I caught that on the show.
Yeah, but in different languages, I guess it means different things.
So
Yeah.
for our viewers out there, Sydney and Jin just did a show on Bravo called Friends to Lovers. And
Currently running.
The premiere episode was Monday night.
Monday, 10
10
p.m.,
Bravo.
9 p.m. Central, Bravo, Friends to Lover, with a 2, the number 2 in the middle,
For
for
hashtag.
hashtags.
Yeah. And you guys, I missed the first episode because I was at your premiere party, and I forgot to tape it. So there was, they've been replaying it over and over. So if you guys are curious about what we're talking about tonight, you can always find that. And if you have any kind of cable, DirecTV or anything, you can actually go to Bravo's website, bravotv.com, and you can sign up.
Yep.
Like you can type in your information, you can watch the shows in real time right there. So
Exactly.
that's really cool.
So I didn't see you at the party. Did you introduce us?
That party was packed.
It was
that
crazy.
was shoulder to
It
shoulder.
was packed. It was crazy. There's a lot of good people there. And I thought I did introduce you guys, too, for a brief second. No, I
I don't
didn't.
think so.
Yeah, my back was messed up.
You couldn't move.
I'm like, I pinched a nerve recently, so my back was messed up. And, speaking about that, I went to an unbelievable chiropractor, Dr. Bruce.
Dr. Bruce Householder, yeah, he's a good friend of mine.
And you introduced me to him, and he worked my back out for me. So I'm on the road to recovery now.
Yeah, no, that's awesome, man. Bruce always comes through.
And
he's
just
been my
give him a
chiropractor
shout
for
out,
years.
like, if you're ever in Burbank area in Los Angeles or Semi Valley, actually, he has practices there.
Yeah, and I have the number right here. It is 818-848-2225. That's for the Burbank office, and Simi Valley is 805-581-2497.
So unbelievable big shout out to Dr. Bruce for hooking me up because, as he said, I had to pull out all the stops on you because my joint was jacked up.
Yeah, Bruce is awesome.
But I'm on the road to recovery, and I'm feeling okay.
That's awesome. How's that affecting your love life?
There's no love life right now. There's no movement. There's absolutely no movement.
Poor Jen.
Right.
So
Not yet.
let's dig right into this because I want to know about the stuff that you guys didn't talk about on the show. Obviously, this is a TV show, so there's some stuff they left out.
Well, I'm like, me and Jen are, we've been friends for, very good friends, best friends for about 6 years now.
Yeah.
Since, 7 years.
7. Wow.
Females always get the
They know the exact
actual,
date.
the actual date.
They're like,
More
we met
accurate.
January 4th on this day at this time at this restaurant.
One
You
year
were wearing
can make
those
the
clothes.
difference.
I'm kind of like, it's around. Well, men are always, it's around this time. Women are, no, it's exactly on this date at this hour. So, okay, 7 years, I stand corrected. And we met in the back of her car. Actually, the one she drove today.
Wow.
Actually, the one she drove today. Right?
No, that was a different one. It was
Is that a different
silver,
one?
Yeah.
Oh, that was silver, right? You see, like my,
So you met in the back of Jen's car.
Well, we were
come
actually
about?
going to the after party for an award ceremony, and we were all intoxicated. So we had a designated.
Who was driving?
Troy was.
Oh.
We had a designated driver,
Yeah.
which was one of our friends, and
I don't know
so,
why I was in the back.
I don't know why.
Was
why
Kyra in the back
Well,
with
you were in
me?
the back because you like being chauffeured around. That's why you were in the back.
That's part. That
Okay,
makes
so we got
more
some
sense.
princess stuff.
So I
Okay.
kind of stumbled in the back, right? Like open the door, like where do I sit? Because I was pretty intoxicated at that time, and there she is, just kind of sitting there looking kind of cool and beautiful and sexy. So I said, hey. Well, she was kind of rude to me at first, actually. She was actually not kind of. She
I
was
don't
actually
remember this
very
part.
rude to me.
Was that oh, that's funny, selective memory there. So you don't remember this part.
No, but it
No,
sounds
she remembers
like me.
the back. No, she remembers meeting in the back. She doesn't remember her being rude to me. But like
But
she said,
that makes sense.
That makes sense, yes.
Was that because you were taken at the time and you wanted to let him know right off the bat that you weren't available and weren't interested?
No, just, sometimes I just get a little crazy.
You were just like, nope, I'm gonna punish this
Sometimes.
motherfucker.
I don't really remember what happened, but he probably came in arrogant and extra.
No, I came in pretty hard and heavy.
No, he comes in. Yeah, he comes
I came in
in
pretty
loud
hard and heavy,
full
loud,
of energy.
yeah, like a lot of energy. And she's just like, "Who the hell are you?" And I'm like, "Oh,
Yeah.
hold up."
I partied with you before.
So you know how he gets.
I do. But it's always I'm kind of like
It's a kind hard and heavy. It's always with good
It's
intention.
aggressive.
I rarely meet people that can keep up with me. And Sydney, matches me pace for pace. So I don't have a problem with it.
I kind of outpace you
Sometimes.
right?
Sometimes. Yeah.
So our friendship, has developed into, a great friendship. And, obviously she's a beautiful girl, I'm sure everyone can see. And, as I would say, from a male to a female point of view, men are always, if you have a fine female, you're always going to think about, okay, what is it,
Of course.
what is it going to be like, date her or be with her? I'm not sure always on female to male, because females can accept platonic relationships a little bit more, I think, than men can accept them.
Definitely.
It's always in the back of my head, what about if I did step to you? Not saying that out loud.
If
ever.
I would have gave him any attention that night, he would have hit on me for sure.
I probably actually
I felt it. Women know, and that's probably why I came back off so aggressive to settle him down.
I would have probably hit on anything that night because I was, very intoxicated.
Well, see, and she probably knew that, and,
Yeah,
and,
exactly.
that's interesting that she would.
But in saying that is to give anyone attention is kind of letting them know that you may be interested, even to give them attention. So
and with women,
that's at least how I take it. Anybody that gives me attention, I'm like, oh, maybe I can.
Women know.
There's an opening right there.
Exactly, and women know that. So it's funny because a lot of women get shrugged off as being a bitch, and it's given such a dirty moniker to push guys away like that. But it's funny because realistically, it is like if you give a mouse a cookie syndrome. If you give a guy an inch, especially when he's got liquid courage,
he'll try to take a mile.
He's gonna go for it, and it's like, where is that counterbalance? Because it's such an important part of our society in the male-female dynamic. Is that men need to learn to we need to learn to step off a little bit, and women need to learn to be a little bit more vocal about what they want.
I think it's a little bit more. It's paying attention.
Exactly. Yes.
People just need to pay attention to different things about the other person rather than
Women gauge the situation. They know what they're doing. Even that night, I was highly intoxicated.
Yes, she was.
But we gauge the situation on how to react and how to, keep things at a certain level.
Is that like is that something that you conditioned over time? Because I'm sure for you, every time a guy's been around, you've had to think about that. Because I mean. Has it ever blindsided you where you were like,
you have different ways. When a guy approaches you, you have different ways. You can kind of see what kind of guy you're dealing with, and you either give them the I'm going to the bathroom shrug, or I'm not interested shrug, or just if they're just, am I allowed to curse on here?
Yeah.
Oh, if they're just being assholes, you just totally block them out. So there's different, it depends how you're approached.
There's levels to this.
Exactly.
There's levels to this.
Levels. Okay, that's interesting.
I think that's human interaction.
There's guys you don't want to hurt their feelings, but you're not interested, and then there's guys that just come off so abrasive that you're like, who cares? Just get out of here.
And it's sad because there's always a counteraction to that. You when a guy comes off too abrasive, you're like, fuck you, and then he's like, well, fuck you, bitch, and then it becomes a big
do that
thing.
Anymore.
Yeah, some guys, I'm like, I don't.
Yeah, some guys, but I mean, I'm talking about the general public, like not the general public, but I've seen this a lot. I've seen guys kind of react that way, and they don't know how to internalize that rejection, and they fling it right back. And
funny enough that
and
this
they
topic,
go too far.
I do.
Right, and funny enough, this topic is because there was this big thing on social media maybe about 2 months ago about the woman walking down the street. And
all the guys
kind of hitting on her and whistling and things like that. And just the interpretation of what was a good comment, what was cool, what was not abrasive,
like
what was wrong, what was not wrong.
So you didn't find anything wrong with that video at all?
Well, she's from New York.
I'm from New York, so you're used to, and it makes a woman feel good. Think about if you took somebody else, a different woman who was not as attractive, she would love that. You know, sometimes you got to learn what to brush off. Like when I was watching it, they edited it a lot. It wasn't like every street she walked down, it was like that. But there are
I didn't see too many terrible comments on there. I didn't, I heard a lot of.
To be acknowledged for your beauty is always a great thing.
And what's wrong with that?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting because I saw that go around, and I saw the for comments and the against comments, and I kept watching it, and I was like, I don't really have an opinion about this. I mean, this could have been staged so many different ways. You could put a guy like you or I in West Hollywood and have him walk down the street, and you get the same thing. I've had guys sing Disney songs to me walking down West Hollywood. I can show you the world. Oh wow! And I'm like, really? This happened to me 3 times in one day, actually.
And it's like funny enough when you don't compliment a woman, she feels a certain way about that.
Exactly.
Well, there's women who never get complimented, and
right,
so
they'd
be thirsty for that kind of attention, and it could build their self-esteem. So that I saw that whole video, and it was kind of.
I think with women there's a conditional habit that they kind of get into, where if you're having a bad day and you don't want to be bothered, then it's like no, and then people.
And also, you're exactly right. And also depends on mood, the mood you're in.
There are people that go through life looking for things that are wrong, and it has nothing to do with sex.
Totally.
It's this is gonna piss me off, and that person's gonna, and it's like, and then all of a sudden, that becomes something that intersects with your dating.
There was a couple guys that
following them blocks and blocks.
Exactly. That's crossing boundaries.
That's creepy.
That's harassment right there. It's like, okay, I said
that's
hi.
Scary.
Keep it moving. The guys.
What would you do in that situation? Would you turn around and?
That actually happened a few weeks ago.
Oh, really?
Karina and I were on our way to Kitchen 24.
And another friend of ours.
Hollywood Hookah all the way to Kitchen 24. This guy was like walking behind us and like talking to us, like calling me China and her mamacita, come here. And like, it was getting scary. We started quickening our pace. He came right into Kitchen 24, sat right at our table.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, he was okay. So he was just
he was
a problem.
Such a creeper.
He was a problem.
And then we were like, we're not interested. And he's like, oh, I want to buy you breakfast. And we're like, we're not interested. And then Karina had to kind of go tell the security guard.
I'm surprised Karina didn't step up and smack him.
Yeah. What do you do in a situation like that? I mean, would you turn? Because if you aggress it, if you immediately turn around, and you hit the guy with the purse, then you escalated the situation.
And you don't want to be an aggressor in that situation.
No, he was a pretty big guy. That's why she didn't, because there was a fear factor there.
Yeah. I've known girls to find a guy that's walking the other direction or whatever.
That's happened to me. I've been that guy.
Yeah, and a girl will walk up to him and be like, "Hey, what's up? How are you? Oh my God, play along." You know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've been that guy that play along.
Yeah. And
step into this
I think that's viable.
Yeah, you just got some, you got some weird creepers out there that have no business.
Yeah, but if they're just sitting down,
definitely, especially in high populated areas like Hollywood Boulevard. Mm-hmm. I mean, we both used to live right there.
With some disorders, they probably got some mental disorders going on. Yeah. So that's, I think we're talking about sane people. in the sane
that's
world.
What I'm saying. If somebody's just standing at their post and acknowledging a pretty girl, hey, beautiful, and that's it, that's fine. That's a nice gesture. But
so back to me and Jen. So as I was harassing her in the backseat of her car.
wait, real quick. This just reminded me of something. So self-defense tip, ladies. We do have a lot of female listeners. Yes. Self-defense tip. So if you are out and a guy is creeping on you, following you like that, and it's not so heavily populated, most girls have pepper spray. Most girls won't turn around and spray pepper spray because then it immediately instigates an attack.
Right.
But what you can do is take your pepper spray, and while you're walking, you kind of just let it dangle in your hand, and you spritz it behind you. And what it'll do is it'll hit the air, it'll aerate, and then the guy will walk right into it, and he will have no fucking clue what just happened. And you just spritz it every couple steps.
That's good step. Yeah.
And all of a sudden, he's like, oh, my God, what the fuck is going on? He'll have no idea that you just did that.
Just throw the situation off.
Yeah.
Throw it off a little bit. Mm-hmm.
Or you can hit a corner, and right after you hit a corner, you just give it a good spray and keep walking. And he'll think that, maybe like a radioactive dog peed on the corner or something, like.
Or just all of a sudden at the top of your lungs just yell some crazy obscenity
or run.
out of the blue to make him think that you're crazy.
You're like, oh, you think you're crazy?
Mama got new boots today on the train. You start looking around.
That might excite him more though.
Yeah,
he'd be like, ooh, she like me.
Crazy. I like crazy.
I always talk
but
talk about
line-
talk about the
bottom line,
STDs
just be
you just
safe.
had.
Yeah,
You
but
know, be
bottom
like, look. So how is that case of AIDS you just got? You know.
Shoot, some people don't care about that.
Yeah, I
out these
feel like
days.
if they're
fair enough.
chasing you at that pace, and they're
Yeah.
going to do something that you're either going to have to run, scream, do the pepper spray, but
something, right?
There's
acting-
a self-defense weapon I heard of. It's like an anti-rape thing, and what it is, they just came out with this, and it's a condom that you insert inside the girl.
I heard- yeah, I
and
actually heard
it's
about
got
that.
like
That's
teeth
right.
on it.
Yeah, I
So,
heard- yeah,
yeah,
it's
So a
actually,
girl wears that before
Yeah.
she
No,
goes out.
she puts it inside.
Oh,
So if she gets
gosh.
raped, a guy gets like this thing
So
stuck.
how do you know? Will you wear it every day?
Yeah, well, I don't know.
You know, how do you narrow down the
I
day you're going to
I
get
actually
raped?
heard about that.
That's
I actually heard
horrible.
I actually heard about that, and I think it was a pop up on like as I was online or
That's
something like
weird.
that.
Yeah,
and
it's
it popped
Facebook.
up on Facebook. Yeah, and I was like, okay, wow, is this?
So
this
what,
where,
if you're going
is
on
this
a
where it's come
date?
to?
I don't know. I think
It's actually date rape. Actually, it was a date rape thing. Actually,
Yeah.
It was
If
a
you
date
have to
rape
put
thing.
that on in preparation to go out with a guy,
I don't
maybe
think
that's
you should
not
be.
the guy.
Maybe that's not the guy you should be going out and
Yeah.
date
I
with.
think I think some people are really paranoid and really I know
It's
people
bad
that
out
feel
there.
anybody
I'm
using
like,
that, I
society,
feel
I'm
crazy.
like, you hear horrible stories, and it's bad out there. You hear, with all this Tinder and all this Craigslist stuff, it's I'm like, you hear horrible stories.
Yeah, but I think you only hear like maybe the 1% of what's
Yeah, you
really
don't
going
It's
hear
on.
what's
probably
really
the
going
1%. It's like the news.
Yeah.
You only hear the 1% of,
Yeah.
of stuff that's going on.
Late breaking news.
Right,
Something
exactly.
terrible happened.
I'm like, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Which shapes your mind in terms of how you view society and what it is.
Exactly.
As
Which
I
is-
just said, it's terrible out there. Maybe it's not that terrible out
Exactly. And it's not necessarily your fault if that's all that's kind of available to view. It's sad that we don't have more positive things and more we have the ability to globally connect, but we don't have a very fair spin on what reality is right now. What's going on in the world.
Propaganda's in play,
Yeah, and
the indoctrination of fear. They want to keep people. I'm like, society wants to keep people fear because you can control them that way.
So speaking
Control-
of fear,
yeah, right? Speaking
Jin,
of fear,
were you afraid to do this show with Sydney? Were you afraid?
she was all for it.
I was not afraid. Sydney does not scare me the least bit.
I don't. Think
Were
I
you
scared-
afraid
I don't
of
think I scared
ruining that?
anybody?
Were you afraid of?
I was fearful.
I had some hesitations, but not because of Sydney.
What
Yeah.
were the
Just in general.
hesitations?
First and foremost, how I'm portrayed, or too much invasion of my privacy.
Yeah.
Well, give that up. It's reality
That I have a
TV.
real life. After whatever happens, after the filming, I have a real life that I have to be able to, readjust back to. And then I didn't want it to affect Sydney and our friendship, relationship, or.
Yeah, I mean, I get that
So those are my
entirely.
hesitations.
There's
And we don't,
Not fear.
you with reality TV, it's very, very easy to make somebody look bad, and it's one of the things I kind of applaud, like go Bravo, because they really, I don't feel like they really make people look bad. I think that
No, I don't
no,
think
they
it's
don't.
their intention.
the network
No.
as a
Well,
whole.
actually,
They don't do
I don't
that.
think they do. I think people make themselves look bad.
Fair enough, it could
Right.
be. Some of that 1%
You
craziness.
can only
being
edit so, you
attracted.
can only edit so much,
Yeah.
Like you
Yeah.
give yourself. I'm like,
Okay, so maybe all the crazy people were just saying that they got edited badly, and they really were jackasses on TV.
hey,
There's
I'm
an
just-
interesting perspective.
Hashtag I'm just saying.
So that's actually one of the things that I wanted to talk about was perspective, because in the book Methodology of the Modern Male, the first place I tell guys to start is you need to find out how the world sees you, or how people perceive you as kind of a whole. You need to check with a few different people, and really learn to negotiate an honest answer. And then once you get some feedback, how you come off, then you can start to gauge it. But this was a really interesting thing because you get that perspective. You actually get to watch yourself. And did you guys get to see any of the tape?
Yeah, which is I saw I saw the first episode, which is I hate that process. I hate watching myself. I always have.
Yeah.
I just don't like it. It's like
I used to hate the sound of my own
it's
voice.
just-
And now I'm
yeah,
a radio
it's
host.
it's really just unnerving.
Has it gotten more
It's-
normal for you?
Yeah, no, now my perspective analysis it goes through the roof, because I'm not, this isn't personal for me at all. So now I'm just like, oh, hey, let me look oh, wow, I should change that. I should fix that. I should stop doing that. Oh,
Yep.
okay, this is,
I don't know. I'm pretty a pretty terrible critic on myself.
yeah, you are kind of a harsh critic.
I'm a perfectionist. So
Yeah.
everything can always be better. everything can always have a twig. But you know, in current times, I've kind of just learned to let it go. You know, it's going to be as it's going to be.
Yeah, and I think that the more you kind of see yourself on camera on this show,
There's
and
probably
on the
some
show.
stuff I'm harboring.
It wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be.
You know, right?
Which one of your brothers was that?
Exactly. You know, it's all probably his fault. It's all probably my brother's fault.
So, having watched the episode, do you think that they did an accurate job of portraying what's been going on?
I think it was good.
You know, I was getting a little bit nervous as the air date was coming, but
Yes, she was.
I'm fine with it. It's not as I was thinking I was gonna be like, oh God, but I'm fine with it. I'm pretty happy with myself. I mean, there's things I probably could have did a little bit different to prepare a little bit more, but I'm not that harsh on myself like he is. It is what it is.
Having not met you and having watched the show beforehand and not meeting you now, I can say that it's good. You know,
What's good?
I think that in the beginning you come off a little hostile, like you're really not interested in him.
In the first episode.
Yeah, like
Exactly.
there's a little bit of hostility there, and I kind of felt like. There was a little
Well, I don't know
aggression.
if she is interested in me. You know what I'm saying? It's just, you know, we're just friends, you know? And so we're like, you know, we're thinking about dating.
But that's how I come
so-
off at first to everybody.
But
you know?
why?
I don't know.
She's
It's
from
just-
New
I'm
York
from
and
New
she's
York, I'm
hardcore.
Korean, I'm Irish.
Yeah, but
I'm
you didn't
Year
come
of
off
the
like that just now to
Dragon.
me. I just met you, and you're so sweet, and you're sweet now.
I mean,
She's
I'm
putting on the
oh,
air.
no, I'm
She's
not.
putting
I
on the
am
air.
deep down inside. I am always sweet.
Okay.
You're not a threat to me. Not that you're
Okay.
a threat to me, but I'm going to see you today. I'm going to probably see you in a few weeks or whatever it is. But
I'm not trying to get in your pants.
yeah, and you just want me to sit here and talk to you, not coming at me for anything. So usually, if I meet somebody and I until I know their intentions, I put a wall up, and then I.
So it's like a forced will, you know. You're
It's just
Well,
natural. It
also
comes
knowing,
natural.
well, also, I'm like, to put it blatantly, knowing who she is. You know, she's, you know, who she was at one particular time in a certain industry.
No, forget about that. That's not
Well,
why
no,
I am who I am, and that's what it is.
Well,
I
that
don't
has
let
everything to do
everybody
with
in.
that. Yeah, that has everything.
Some
That has
people are nice
that's
to
some things to do with that.
Some people are
No,
nice to
shush
everybody,
me.
right?
This is radio. There's
You
no
meet
shushing.
somebody and you're nice to everybody. I'm not like that. If I like you, I like you.
She has
If I'm
some
nice to
walls
you, it's
up.
genuine. It's not so much walls.
It
It's
is
like,
walls. Those are walls that we put up. Why aren't you nice to everyone? Why
and
can't you?
This is
You're
why.
a person.
Like, with Sydney, I'm hostile with him because he's like this. He has high energy, so I have to. My high energy.
and you don't have
is
high
a-
energy?
I do. I do.
Okay.
I'm very
Don't point
high
the
energy.
finger. 3 pointing back at
But
you.
I am sweet. This is the thing. If you sat and talked to me, anybody, I get a really bad rap because, you know, the
Until she gets
stereotypical-
challenged.
No,
That's
Until
what I
she
was
gets
going to
because
ask.
when you do see me at first, I have automatic bitch face. Like my face just
Yes, she
is
does.
naturally bitchy. I could be smiling on the inside, but
Just stone
outside,
face.
outside I'm like this, but I'm really like giggling on the inside. I don't know why. It's just how my face goes. But if anybody sat and talked to me and I like you and you're a genuine person and you're real and you're not trying to, you know, do something, you know, sneaky or anything, everybody loves me.
So
Well, okay.
Who doesn't?
Well,
love
I
me?
mean, I-
if you talk to me for 8 minutes, you love me. These
Okay.
are facts.
8 minutes.
yeah,
Okay,
I'll
cool.
agree with that.
The
I mean,
people
What
who
about
don't
the
talk
first?
to me.
What about the first 2 minutes?
It depends what you are. It depends what your energy
But you can't.
is.
But you can't.
So-
you can't base your energy on someone else's energy.
I can read energy really good,
But
and
you
I can know
can't
what's
base
what.
your energy on someone else's energy. Like,
touched on
I'd have a
something. You
foul.
do.
I'd have a foul attitude of 99% of the people out here if I walked
what
down the street
energy
and
is.
based
That's what vibes
no,
are.
and based on
That's
my
what
energy.
connections
No,
are.
in terms
That's
of
what you
basing
call
my energy on
chemistry.
everyone else's. I'm who I am. I'm going to be
point.
like me, regardless of anybody else's energy.
So do you feel like when people challenge you on that, it kind of brings it out more?
Yes.
Because I'm seeing.
Oh, what do you mean? I just brought it out in you more.
No, you didn't.
Because I just challenged
You're
you.
not
Yes,
a
I-
stranger.
I'm like, it doesn't
You're not a
matter.
stranger.
I'm like, okay, when
if
we
you brought
first.
somebody in here and he sat right here, he, however, I'm gonna reflect my behavior off of them.
That's what I
if
just
they
said.
want to come in and they want to be.
That's the point. That's exactly what I said.
I'm not gonna combat bitch with bitch though. If you come at me like a bitch, you don't even exist anymore. And now I'm just back into my own.
I don't know
I would
about
love
that.
to see your bitch mode with
Nah,
another
you
girl.
know, I'm like, it's just
someday.
exhausting.
I don't have bitch mode towards a female that I don't know. If you put a stranger here and she just was like
Yeah.
ignoring me, you don't even exist to me anymore, and you're deleted. I'll never
right,
remember
back
you.
to
But if you
us.
put a girl here and she's nice, I'm a girl's girl. I have a lot of girlfriends.
So it's
Or-
kind of that New York, like, you know,
Or if you take a person that
Black
I
and
don't
white
like,
thing.
that's who I'm going to be confrontational with. If we already don't like each other because I have a reason not to like you, I'm never going to back down. It's going to be a war. But if I don't know you, I don't even know you to not like you. So I don't even know what to say, where to start.
Some of that East Coast fire in your blood.
It's East Coast. It's definitely an East Coast
Because
thing.
yeah, you're from Hartford and you're
I'm from East Coast.
You're from
New
New
York.
York.
It's
Okay.
a very
Also-
it's an aggressive attitude. We have an aggressive attitude. I'm not going to lie about
It's a mixture.
that.
I probably have it a little bit bad. My mother's Korean. You know how they are. They're very...
Fair enough.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm from Maine. You know, like I kind of get it. I mean,
She's very strong-willed. She's very, I am my mother's daughter.
that's very and you come off. You here now with me. You come off very very sweet.
Thank you. Thank you.
So you
Jen's
guys.
sweet. Of course, she's sweet. She's been a long-term friend of mine.
So you guys have decided that
We're gonna try this dating thing. We're gonna try it. Yeah, we're gonna try
because
it.
I see. I'm watching the show. I mean, I saw you all dressed up. You guys were out at dinner, and then you.
But we go out a lot. I'm like, we go out a lot.
We
I'm
do
like,
that all the
we do that
time.
all the time as as friends.
That felt like a date, and then all of a sudden you said, "Hey, what if we date?" And it was kind of like, "Whoa, okay."
Well,
so,
I'm like,
It didn't
understand.
feel like a date for me until then.
It wasn't a date for me until then.
okay, was that awkward when
It
he
was
popped
very-
that question?
It was very awkward for me to ask that question.
Okay.
I'm like, just to go into the realm of, stepping over that boundary of other than a friend is very nerve-wracking, because all of a sudden there's something else
Do
on the
you
line.
get nervous?
There's stake. Of course, I get nervous all the time.
That is funny.
You ever
I
seen
hide-
him nervous?
I'm
This
always
guy.
nervous. I'm actually nervous right now. I'm dead
Let me
serious.
feel your heart rate.
I'm actually
gets
always
touchy.
nervous. I hide it very well, but just because friendship means so much to me, friends are friends of mine forever. Once I become friends with someone, they're friend forever. I don't have friends for a reason, friend for a season. That doesn't exist to me.
Yeah.
I've had knockdown, drag-outs with friends, but they're still my friends. So trying to cross a different border with that is nerve-wracking. You don't know what's going to happen because there's stakes on the line. You don't know
it's
how
not that exaggerated.
Well,
but-
real quick,
It
I want
is,
to put
though.
this out there for our listeners, because it's a really, really important point. I think that all guys kind of need to realize is that the nerves never go away. Me and Nick,
they're just hidden. They're hidden.
yeah, me
they're
and Nick
hidden.
got asked this once, and he goes, no, I'm never nervous around girls. He's like, are you, Jerod? And I'm like, yeah, I still get nerves occasionally.
I do.
I still get nervous when I do certain things. I still, it's like,
If you don't get nervous around anybody, you're really just self-involved and not paying attention to anybody else but yourself.
and
That's what I think.
I was talking to a friend who he was backstage with Bill Clinton right before a speech, and he said Bill Clinton's hands were still shaking, and and he was like, "Are you really nervous to go give this speech?" And he was like, "Yeah,
course.
if you're not nervous, you're doing something wrong."
Yeah.
And it's something about the importance of it.
The importance, yes, exactly.
making it matter, putting something on the line,
Exactly.
challenging
And-
yourself, putting
and
yourself outside of the
relationships-
comfort zones.
Relationships and friendships matter to me.
Yeah.
So when I
When
meet
you said that on
people-
the show,
Yeah, when
you said just how hard it was because you didn't want to ruin this.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. You don't want to ruin a relationship. You don't want it to be awkward. If so, it doesn't work out. Mm-hmm. If you piss somebody off and you see that it's going a different way, you don't want anything bad to come of it. So that stakes are on the line. Something matters. It matters in terms of what the outcome is. And so going into that realm is very hard.
So, Jin, do you think that Sydney's approach on that, kind of the way he did it and the way he brought it up, do you think that was good? Was there things that you thought he could do differently? And Sydney, were there things that you thought you could do differently? Hindsight's 2020. We were talking about this
Yeah,
last
I'm
night.
interested to hear Jen's answer on that one.
The way he approached it was good. It was perfect timing. We were comfortable. We were in a nice setting. I wasn't caught off guard. I was kind of like, just a little, not nervous, but a little like, ooh, But I know Sydney's always had a thing for me, so it's not not to be.
Right, we always had a
I'm
thing for you.
saying there's
All right.
always been that, waiting in the.
Have you always had a thing for Sydney, though?
Here's a funny story that Sydney forgets to tell that I think is funnier than us in the back seat. After that initial meeting, Sydney disappeared for a while. And I didn't know at the time. I think you went to Africa.
Okay, that could be the case.
And then I had a huge party, a 90s party. Do you remember this?
Yes, I remember the 90s
and
party.
so at my house, I had different sections. I had a VIP section where you had to have a wristband.
I remember that whole episode.
Where
first of all, I would like to tell this story, actually.
Okay,
I think it
okay, so go ahead. Well, I'll say this. I had a separate section for my actual close personal friends. And then I allowed other people to invite certain amount of people. So I had security there. And you had to, and I told the security, if they do not have a bracelet, do not let them into this area, because I had a whole separate section set up so that other people couldn't go.
So prior to the party, me and her are pretty much talking every day, because as she invited me to the party, she's like, "Well, are you coming?" And she calls me the next day. You sure you're coming?
Because I needed a list.
We even talked the same day of the party. Are you sure?
I don't remember this part.
Are you sure you're coming? You're definitely coming. So we're talking constantly. So, and we've only met one time before that, and that's in a car. But we became very close very quick. So as I'm talking, I'm like, okay, yeah, this is Jen.
Because I'm sweet. How do you meet one person
I'm
one
going
time
to see.
and
I'm
they
going to
keep
see
connected?
Jen. We talk, 3 or 4, 5 or 6 times before I even get to the party. We even talk on the day, and when I get to the party, she doesn't even remember who I am. She doesn't remember. She literally asked me, "Who the hell are you?"
No, wait. He's walking up to the VIP.
I'm walking up to the VIP. She points to me and she's like, where the hell you think you're going? And I look at her like,
I don't remember him.
I'm like, what are you talking about?
He's looking at me like,
I'm looking at him
I'm
like,
yeah, where are you going? This is for VIP. Go back
and
down.
then I'm like, oh, no, but she doesn't know. She doesn't know. She walked by me earlier and didn't know who the hell I was. Clear past me.
Okay, it was a 90s party, and he was, and so I guess somewhere in my mind.
I look like me in a blue suit, in a blue khaki suit.
Like
I look like me
like
in
a gangster, like a Crip or something.
I had a blue khaki suit on.
Was he wearing a hat? Because sometimes
I was not wearing a hat.
Yeah, but were you wearing a hat when you met her?
No.
Because I didn't recognize you the first time you did that.
Because it was a 90s party.
Actually, I was. Actually, I had a fedora on.
Some people were dressed like Aaliyah. Some people were dressed like, Salt and Pepper, whatever. He was dressed like a gangbanger. And so I didn't know if that was a costume or legit outfit. Because
applause to my costume. I should have won best costume that day.
Golf clap.
So anyway,
earlier that day, she walked right by me. So I was like, maybe she doesn't remember me, because I gave her the benefit of the doubt. I was like, we only met in person once before that, so she could not remember.
A lot was going on. There was a lot of people, but I'll tell you this. So I tell him, go down there. You can't come up here. This is VIP, and I keep walking. I take about 5 steps, and something clicks.
Yeah,
and
something clicked. That energy I shot to your brain. That's what.
But
clicked.
I was so rude that I felt so bad. I was so rude.
She was ignorantly rude.
Yeah, I was ignorantly rude, and I was not a good host. And I turned around. I was
and
like,
it threw me off the whole day. I had a terrible time.
No, we laughed about it the entire
You
time.
laughed. I
laughed.
cried inside. I played it off. But I felt awkward the whole day. I was like, no,
it hit me. He didn't have to tell me, because he was still standing on the stairs like this.
Oh no, I threw a brain
shock.
zap to her. You know how, Jared. You know how
I've seen that exact look. You do a good job of imitating it.
How strong my brain zaps are. They're daggers.
Yeah, fair enough.
Because my energy is very strong. So she got it very quickly.
So the question is that he asked is, so I always knew, Sydney, there was that fair attraction. Men are like that.
Well, and I want to touch on that brain zap thing real quick, because that's important as well. Every now and then we kind of stumble onto a little nugget of information that you can use outside of this current conversation. And, that's something that I kind of tell guys to do, is do a lot of inner work and really kind of cultivate something that you want to be attractive. You are attractive. And then as you kind of like push that out of you, you push that energy out. I remember there were times when I used to experiment with this, and and it sounds stupid as hell, but I would push a bubble, an aura out of me, and I'd be like, okay, I would kind of envision this thing, and I would imagine this thing, and I would be like, I'm gonna push this energy out, and I would notice that while I would do this, people would actually turn around and look at me.
It's
like,
a physical
what
thing.
was that?
Energy is physical.
Yeah,
it's a physical thing.
Exactly.
You actually feel it. You ever been around somebody and you felt like, I don't really
Did I just
gel
say
with
this
this
5
person?
minutes ago? Did I just talk about energies and vibes and matching?
It's a vibration. It's actually a vibration.
So how do you feel that you were vibrating?
Chemistry. It's a connection. You have it with some people and you don't.
Our friendship became very close very quickly we've always
because
been.
Because we're both transplants. I gravitate
I don't
towards
think it's.
East
I don't think it's
Coasters.
because of that.
I wouldn't be so nice to you.
Guy.
I wouldn't be
I think
as
it's 'cause I'm a
welcoming
great
and nice
guy,
to him if he wasn't from home.
I think it's because I'm a great guy.
He reminds me of home. You're a great guy too.
But we became friends very quickly, and our energy is very similar. How we carry on is very similar.
I see that.
And we have a lot of fun.
You guys just talk over each other and fight all the time.
Right.
He does more talking over me.
And we're very, and we have a lot of fun. We have a very understanding friendship.
There's definitely some
she
sexual.
She can piss me off, and I'll get over it very quickly. I can piss her off. She'll get
we don't hold grudges.
We don't hold grudges.
There's definitely a lot of sexual tension there, and
do you feel it?
Yeah, it's palpable.
Energy.
You can damn near smell it.
That's you.
But it's also interesting. Sometimes you meet somebody, and I've seen this a lot in dating and relationships where they didn't particularly like each other at the beginning, or they kind of give each other a hard time, and they get off on a bad foot, and they end up becoming the best.
Those
lovers.
are the best relationships.
Sometimes, yeah.
Well, when you hate the person first.
Right, but what if I always said, Jared, I always said that with the relationships and friendships that I have, I always take it to the bottom first because there's only one way to go. You know what I'm saying? Once you reach the bottom with somebody, if it's going to go anywhere,
me.
No, I'm like, we haven't had to reach the bottom, but we've gotten to some spats.
That's interesting. Expand upon that.
No, nothing.
We've gotten to some spats. I'm like,
I know of.
I'm like, but also we're mature enough not to have to go into that realm.
Well, for a lot of viewers, you guys bickering back and forth is an East Coast thing, and a lot of people in LA aren't going to get that. I remember one time
people in LA bicker. What are you talking about?
Yeah, but not the same way.
No.
They don't talk to each other in that kind of harsh, aggressive way, and then be like, no, it's fine. We're not fighting.
All right, homie.
It's just like,
okay, homie. It's all good, homie.
You guys don't notice that differentiation?
Yes, I do. No, I do. I do.
East Coasters don't take it.
And I give it to I give it to climate. The sun is out here, makes everyone a little bit more relaxed. You got the water. In New York it's cold, man. I ain't got a lot of time. So what I'm, I'm like,
to the point.
Get to the
We're
point. It's very get to the point.
People are just nippy.
Very, East Coast is very get to the point.
Yeah.
I got a lot of time. We talking about a whole bunch of things. Get to the point. What you got to say? And West Coast is, you talk a little longer about things.
It's sunny out. We ain't
going
We're
nowhere.
just a little more passionate.
We're not in a rush.
So I noticed that your ex-husband was a part of the show, and I know that there was a moment where he kind of gave Sydney the go-ahead or whatever. That's interesting to me that your husband lives with you. B, that must have been very awkward and kind of weird, and it might not be awkward to live with him, but it definitely could have been something that hindered your dating. You not wanting to bring a guy home because it was just it just wasn't even worth the hassle, So talk about that.
Yeah, I mean, where do I even start with that?
That's a whole lot of.
I'm the woman of my house, so I'm not gonna let somebody come in and dictate what's going on. But at the same time,
is that why he lives in the basement? You're like,
well, there has to be boundaries.
Yeah,
and
fair
there
enough.
has to be, we have to have a clear understanding of what's going on. We're not playing house. This is just temporary for the reasons that it needed to be that way.
Mm-hmm.
But I also didn't want there to be any interference. And
I don't need any blessing to be dating any female that I'm trying to date.
Okay.
Well, I mean, if you look at it from that perspective, being, if you're going to be in that situation, it's better to have the okay. Not that his okay or not okay is going to determine what I'm going to do, but it is a smoother transition that he's cool with it and not, guys like to piss on their property, and it's, and being
and
that
naturally guys are just aggressive. And
did that kind of alleviate some of the stress of the situation?
Not for me, because I'm going to do what I'm going to do.
So you never cared. So why haven't you done Sydney sooner? Why is this just happening now?
Well, I'm like, first of all, you have to know our relationship. Our relationship is, what I'm saying.
You have to know Sydney's hooked up with a bunch of my friends. Okay.
That has happened.
That has happened.
And I've seen her with a bunch of guys.
Not your friends.
But
not
guys,
your friends.
well, couple of my friends. Couple of my friends.
Don't shut up. Couple
of my friends.
Couple?
Yeah. Couple. One. Okay, one then.
That's how I met
One
you.
is always a couple to guys.
No. Was she single when you met her?
And I didn't sleep with your friend.
Oh, you didn't?
No, I didn't.
Okay,
cool. And you can ask him.
And I didn't sleep
He'll
with your
vouch for that.
friends.
Yeah,
No, I didn't sleep with any of your friends.
But you've never seen him and I together.
No, I haven't.
He's never seen him and I together. I've watched him.
Thank God for that.
I've watched him tongue down.
You didn't have sex with him, or you just didn't sleep next to them?
Huh?
You didn't have sex with any of her friends, or you didn't sleep?
No, we didn't. No, we didn't have sex. You know, I'm like,
you know, I gotta
I'm Dr. Tongue. I'm Dr. Tongue Love. So you know, we kissed. You know, I wrapped him up in some kisses.
While I'm sitting there. I'm
we're
pretty
just
sure
first of all,
there
we're
was
just
some-
friends. So what are you talking about?
I know,
I'm
but
like,
I'm just saying.
oh,
the difference.
but you hear how she said that while I'm just sitting there. That's it's
I mean,
very
I'm not
telling.
just sitting there. I have.
That's
whoever
very.
So
I'm
if
It's
you're
very
the kind-
telling.
I
It's
have
very
whoever
telling how
I'm
you say
dating
something.
there.
If you're the kind of girl that kind of goes out and gets what she wants, how come you didn't get Sydney sooner? Was that something that he had to grow on you?
I don't think
or-
it was on the table. Maybe I had to grow on her. I don't think it was on the table.
Sydney definitely had to grow on me, one, and then it's always been in the back of my mind.
I have to grow on everybody.
That he's made out with so many of my friends.
We clicked like this.
I'm like
so.
a tree. You know, I got to grow on everybody. You know.
Not everybody loves Sydney. He's like New York. You either
First-
love him or
first-
hate him.
Not everybody
He
likes Sydney.
exhausts.
He
exhausts people.
First of all, I've known that all my life.
Okay, and that's okay, 'cause
Actually,
that's
I
the
like
same
that.
thing with
But
me.
the thing about it is, I like that about myself because either you get me or you don't.
Yeah,
There's no gray area.
I don't do the
Fair enough.
pursuing. I like
Yeah.
to be pursued. I'm old school. I'm not gonna be as aggressive as I am. I'm not gonna pursue that.
And those who don't like me don't like themselves.
So there are two
get
interesting
hung up on
points
that.
that I want to bring up to our viewers real quick. One is what you said. It doesn't matter how strong or aggressive the girl is. It doesn't matter how much she says that it doesn't matter. And most girls really would never say that. They just kind of accept it as it is. But courtship matters.
Yes.
You know, pursuing a woman in a proper way
Of
matters.
course. And it goes to that, the friendship date, which some viewed as the first date on the show, but it wasn't. It was actually us going out as friends. But it was preparing her for maybe a newer type of me.
I noticed something.
And not necessarily the friend me, because, the way I set it up was, okay, it was a different, it was a different type of energy.
yeah,
I was
dating
giving.
Sydney is a lot different than friend Sydney.
I noticed that, and I noticed
think
that
that's-
you did a couple things that were really impressive to me, actually.
And what were that? What were those, Jerod?
Well, you found out
Do
what you
tell.
wanted to order, and then you ordered it for her. The lady will have the da-da-da. You ordered it first before your own meal. The lady will have such and such. Then you ordered what you wanted. You guys kind of cut to the chase really quickly. You guys didn't beat around the bush with the menu, which annoys women sometimes. They're like, I don't know what it is about that, but sometimes if a guy is finicky,
Women like
women
assertiveness.
They
like
and women like men
decisiveness.
making decisions.
One of the worst things a
Yeah.
woman hates is if it's setting up a date. What do you want to do?
Right.
Whatever you want to do. All right. Well, you set it up. It's like I'm at this point. I'm not even. I can't even. I'm not even gonna blow dry my hair.
but
and
it's-
get ready for
And
the
I've been
date.
on the other side.
Yeah.
I'm a very indecisive person when it comes to doing things or what I like to eat. So I've been in that situation
women
where I
do
had
like
to
that, a
where I had to
take
click like
charge.
Sydney, make the decision.
Yeah.
Because it's getting annoying now.
No, me too. I'm the
really
same
am.
way. I'm
Yeah.
realistically, from our perspective, the date isn't for us. The date is for you. We're gonna
Right.
take you out. We're gonna take you somewhere. So it's like, where do you want to go? What do you want to do? We'll make it happen. But it's kind of an unspoken rule that the guy also has to go, hey, I'm gonna take you here because I think it's special and it's nice and it's not within my realm of understanding to naturally understand this.
And I've been told be the man, make the decision.
Yeah, and I've noticed that no matter how you feel about that, it's kind of a universal rule. It's kind of a universal rule.
Even in the age of women independence,
I mean,
it's
don't
like
get
it's still like, make the decision like, okay, this is what we're gonna do, because you're kind of showing and creating a date, you're showing them who you are. So kind of females, like in the type of date you bring them on.
Yeah.
And, how you do the date is actually showing a female
Women
who
like
you,
to know you're
who
involved,
you are,
that you're present,
but also
Yeah.
who you
that
are.
you're not just
Well,
there
I
going
think-
through the motions.
So if I
letting
took you,
us do everything.
so
You're
if I took you
present,
to,
you're
if I said,
here.
okay, we're going to a Clippers game and we're going to Hooters first, it will show actually who I am, how I am to a female.
Exactly. You have
So females
I'm
want.
not going on that date.
I didn't say you're going on that date. I said it was an example. You see this? It was an example of making a decision and what that shows about yourself.
Well, that touches on other facets because that's also another thing is where you have the first date, what a date should be,
Right.
Figuring that out. And I think back to the assertiveness thing, you don't want to just be like, okay, well, you're going to eat this because I think you should eat this. You'd be like, what are you hungry for? Okay, cool. And then you assertively handle the world around her, but you actively ask and kind of find out what she likes, what she wants, what she da.
Yeah, you gotta pay attention.
Or you can surprise her and stuff, but then you would ask her, hey, I got a surprise for you. You ready? And then we go on the magic carpet ride, so to speak. And then another thing that you brought up was the differentiation. I noticed you were like, hey, we're going to go to a basketball game, then we're going to go get hot wings after, da. That's a really, really, really awesome way to show your dynamic. to show who you are. You take her to dinner, then you take her to a completely different
Not
setting.
to say Hot Wings and Clippers games is that the date I would be taking on.
You didn't say Hot Wings,
Yeah.
you said Hooters.
I said Hooters, no.
Yeah.
You forgot that makes a big
did.
difference.
I said
That makes a huge difference.
I said Hooters because it was in a movie I recently watched called Blended, and it was
That's
it was
the
actually a
fourth
fun.
date. We'll go to
it was
Hooters
actually
on the
it was actually a
fourth
fun.
date.
It was actually a funny scene with Adam Sandler and Drew Barrymore about he took her on the first date to
saw
Hooters.
that.
It was Blended, and that's actually why I brought it up.
And he was not engaged in the date. Yeah, that's exact. So don't base
It was,
your
it
dating
was actually
off of that.
it was actually his wife his wife that
But
died.
she didn't know that,
She
and
was
who
the man.
cares?
She didn't know. So actually
Start new, start fresh.
I chose Hooters as a little
So for our
point of
viewers,
laughter.
it is official. When you go out on a date, make sure
date.
that you ask the lady what she would like, where she would like to go. If she can't decide, make sure that you
types of things she likes.
Yeah.
So you can actually make the decision.
be like,
from
do you
there.
like Italian? Do you like da-da-da? Do you like
Right,
this? Give her
yeah.
3 options. When she picks one, then we go from there. And then you ask her what she wants to eat. Then you would.
But never go back and forth
Offer-
about what you want to do.
or-
What you
or
want
to make a recommendation.
What you want to do.
What's
What
that?
you want
Offer
to
to
do.
make a recommendation. Can I recommend this dish that? I've
Yeah.
had?
Because if she doesn't want to think about it, if she's not particularly
She
hungry
has any
for anything.
allergies, peanut allergies, or anything like that. Shellfish.
Yeah, we don't want
You
to pull
can
a
really.
hitch.
I'm like, hey, you can really mess up a date like that. You know, not knowing what, especially if you're trying to cook for a female.
Sydney
do
has
ask those
cooked for me
Do
before.
ask those questions of
Yeah.
what, because you could put something.
Sydney's a good
No,
cook.
and it's happened to me before.
And cooking for a female is a great
Key.
date move.
Yeah,
But
that-
please,
yeah.
but please,
That's a
ask-
game changer.
but
Even if you
please-
can't cook, I used to just make salads, but it
But
worked.
also,
Game
please
changer.
ask everything she does eat, doesn't eat, allergies, because that's happened to me before. I put some pimento seeds in a dish one time, and it turned out bad. I'm like, it was someone that I'd been dating for a while, so it didn't, it wasn't like a first date or anything like that. But she was allergic to pimento seeds, and I was like, all right.
So the way
it just
he
got
approached
ugly.
everything was perfect. It was good.
It was good. So
Yeah.
it was good courtship.
I like perfect better than good.
So things are progressing well.
You'll have to watch the
Well,
show.
I'm like, we're gonna go on a first date, and I'm looking forward. I'm
Okay.
looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to our first date.
It's interesting.
Our
'cause
first real date. Our first date as dating.
the dynamic is slightly different here, and we're not going to cover this particular thing in this show. But this is the show is kind of about will friends to lovers work, and I've noticed that none of these guys actually had to work out of the friend zone. They were all just kind of like, oh hey, maybe we should date, and then now they're going to go on a date. But a lot of men aren't in that position. A lot of men don't have the ability to know that person had a thing for them at any given time. They just started in the friend zone. And a lot of times that has to do with the fact that the female doesn't feel like they're attractive. So actually teach a full methodology on how to get out of the friend zone. So it's interesting
Well,
to see this.
I didn't necessarily know. I rolled the dice. I didn't know she was attracted to me.
But you had to sense a
No,
little
no.
bit.
Who
You're
Who
paying
says I'm
attention.
attracted to you?
Well, I'm like, attracted to me enough to go on a first date with me. That you are.
But it wasn't. It wasn't. I would say it was more. You would lean more towards the obvious that it's more possible.
Well, I'm like, because of our friendship and how close and how well we know each other, but it definitely was a gamble.
But you also know what to do. You know how to kind of pull out that
Sometimes-
sex appeal, and you know how to engage.
Yeah, but she shoots me down a lot just being friends.
Well, and that's another good point. She knows your game.
Yeah.
Being
Being friends, I know his moves, and I know.
And I don't. I
and
really don't have moves.
He
I
does,
just have
and he's
Sydney.
full of shit
I just
half
have
the
Sydney.
time.
I just have Sydney. No, I'm not.
85%
I don't
of the
have
time.
game. I don't have game.
Truthfully, I'm more curious to seeing if there is a real Sydney somewhere in there, because surface
Everything
Sydney
about me is
and
real.
turned
Everything
on
about-
Sydney.
No, when
is-
she no. First of all, define that. She's talking about because we go out a lot, because we party a lot
Sydney's
together.
always turned on. I want to see turned
First
off.
of all, first of all, and I've been.
Drop the persona.
No, if there's no
drop
persona,
the
there's
Hollywood
no-
mask.
First of all, there's no Hollywood
Drop
mask.
the bullshit.
Sydney's like this since Hartford, Connecticut.
Yeah,
So
he's
I'm
pretty
like,
much always
this
like
is pretty.
Maybe
this
he
is
was
pretty
born
much Sydney.
Hollywood.
This
I
is
mean-
pretty much Sydney. Maybe I was actually.
Yeah.
And this is pretty much it. But the point.
Is there
the point
another
being,
layer to Sydney?
Wait, so if he's East Coast and Hollywood, I don't get how the two.
I'm the world, Holmes.
Yeah, I don't get it.
I'm a little
Maybe.
bit of everything.
Sydney's kind of Hollywood. He's
what-
In
adapted.
what way?
I'm like, what does Hollywood? What does
he's-
Hollywood mean?
He's very
Yeah.
comfortable in the Hollywood scene.
But that doesn't make him Hollywood.
yeah,
What-
I
so
don't
what,
know about that.
What makes?
He's a little bit Hollywood.
I'm not
He's
fake.
a little
I'm
bit-
not fake
I didn't
at
say
all.
fake.
So you're saying
Hollywood is fake.
I'm not saying
when you say
Hollywood is
Hollywood,
fake.
when you say Hollywood, I already go automatically.
I'm not equating Hollywood with being fake.
But what is Hollywood?
I like some Hollywood stuff. I like to go in and I like to go out. I don't like to delve all the way in and.
You just mean that he's turned on all the time and he's always kind of.
But that's because our relationship.
Sydney's always his on button's always on.
And that's Sydney. Sydney's I'm active.
Sydney hasn't shut up since he sat down here.
Because you're not supposed to keep any break
there
time on radio.
There can't be any dead air.
This is part of the gig. This is part of the gig.
Sydney doesn't listen to listen. He listens.
Oh, I know. I listen. No. See, that's what you.
He listens to respond.
No. I listen to listen.
So you feel like he's waiting to talk.
Nobody could be turned on all the time like this. You know,
why not?
Even like with me, he and I are a lot of like.
You rarely give a silent moment to me.
If I'm feeling down or I'm not being myself, you're not going to see me. I'm hibernating.
And that's the same thing with me.
It's exhausting. Like after this, I'm going to be a little bit exhausted.
No, after this, she's going to like.
I'm going to go out after.
No, after this, she's going to be like, Sydney, where you go? Where are we going? That's what she's going to be like.
I'm going to dinner, and then I'll hit you up after
and ask
what you're doing. But this will take a lot out of me, you know. And then I'll need some quiet time, and I'll need some.
It takes a lot out of
me.
me.
Recollect. Yeah, but I've never seen that downtime. What's the downtime? Does he ever lay down and watch a movie? I don't think he could sit and watch a full movie.
What are you talking about? I watch movies all the time.
Yeah, he literally hits me up daily. Hey, man, you should turn on the channel right now. I'm watching this. We got the Steve Harvey show today.
I don't know that side.
No, first of all, my alone time is with me alone. So no one sees that because it's with me.
I've slept at Sydney's house. And he's always just moving around. Doing this
because you're there. I'm trying to make first of all, I'm trying to be hospitable. I'm trying to make sure you're everything. A good host, and everything is taken care of because someone's in my presence. If no one's in my presence, I'm relaxed. I'm cool. I'm just in my zone.
But it might be interesting to think.
I meditate.
Yeah, it might be interesting to consider how your presence affects somebody within it. You know,
I'm going my 15th day of meditation.
That could be
really helpful.
See, maybe.
Well, we're going to talk about that in a second, actually.
Maybe he's more himself with you because he's more comfortable.
Well, it's interesting to think about how intentions are. What is that saying? Good intentions are the mother of all fuck up.
I gotta say this. First of all, every time I do attempt to chill and turn down, it's always, what's wrong? Yeah. You gotta turn up. And Jen, first of all, Jen, you said to me many times, I've come to your house on some cool, just chilling. You're like, no, you gotta drink, you gotta turn up, and you've done that a few times. So don't dare say you haven't.
Sometimes people want to have a trade of energy, and if one party is always the life of the party, it can stifle somebody, and it won't let the other.
Yes.
I just want to see the other side, the softer, normal, down to earth.
And that is what we're entering. We're entering,
Yeah, so you guys are about to get intimate.
So
hey.
intimately close in terms of energy, yes, because it's a different energy that I'm going to be giving her on a date, of course.
Mm-hmm. So we're definitely going to have you guys
a lot
back.
Of things.
We are going to have a Valentine's Day show on the 12th, and we're going to have
on the Twizza. So that's my brother's birthday. The 12th.
So we're actually going to have you guys back, and we're going to talk about where the relationship is progressing, and then on the last episode, we're going to have them back again to see where this all went. Cool. So today is day 15 of the Inner Day Challenge. If you guys haven't been doing that, you can go to theinnergym.com, or it's innergym.com. I forget if it's
innergym.com.
Innergym.com. Really cool stuff.
The Daily Meditator.
Yeah, and it's been 10 minutes a day. It's really easy.
I've been going over 10 minutes.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah. I'm like, I totally come out of it when I come out of it. And, I'm like, I've gone 20 minutes. I've gone 15. I'm like, I just kind of come out of it. But I'm like.
I've done a few sessions at 15 minutes, and then I've done a few where it was like I hit 3 a day.
Because the thing about it is I put my stopwatch just on.
Yeah.
I don't really put off on it in terms of an alarm on it. So I just kind of go until I come out of it, until I, feel that
it's complete.
It's complete, yeah.
Yeah. It's been really interesting. I mean, for me, the gains definitely outweigh the time. It's something that's like, it's 10 minutes of your day, and then I have noticed gains, and it's the best way to say it. It's like working out. He compares it to working out, and there have been, I've found naturally the ability to kind of quiet my mind, and I've found weird answers coming out of nowhere.
But the funny thing is, it's so weird because
is this the meditation?
Meditation.
With the guy that came.
Yeah, we just segued. Like
But the thing about it is like in the first few minutes, it's like you're listening to your breath, then you're listening to your breath, and all of a sudden you find yourself in it. It's so weird. It's like
I've meditated. I've used the Silva method before, which is really cool. But
I've meditated in terms of I'm being still on my bed and just not thinking. But in terms of this type of practice, I've never.
What helps with this is the daily email, and then another thing that helped me with this was being responsible of doing a promotion for it, so I have to do it every day. Right. You know, so it's like I wake up and I'm like,
we're forced into it. We're forced into it. You know,
but I wouldn't endorse it if I didn't think that it was good.
Right. And it's a good force. It's a good force. I'm glad I was forced into it.
I've known people my whole life that were incredibly successful, and that's one thing that is.
Well, it's called a challenge for a reason.
Yeah. Well, there's one thing that's been a correlating factor of a lot of people I know that were very, very successful. So they all meditate. They all talk about that, and they all. Like there's this, and I'm like, what could sitting there possibly do? And it's weird because it does a whole bunch of different things.
Yes, it does.
You gain some awareness. For me, my mind will be going a mile a minute, and then all of a sudden it'll just stop, and I'll have an answer to a question that I've needed this answer forever, and it'll just be there.
Being still, being calm, being quiet, quieting down your whole being is just.
So what does he do? He sends you an email and kind of tells you
just a little reminder.
Process?
Basically, he's doing what I would do to people when I train them, physically. When I would take them to the gym, I'd be like, "Look, don't worry about what you're doing so much. Just get in there, do like 2 sets, but just get there every day. Just do it every day. Get to the gym every day.
It's exercise. It's exercising.
Yeah, put yourself in the habit of
your happiness muscle.
Yeah, training yourself. So, cool. Well, we have so much that I want to cover with you guys, but I guess we're gonna have to wait until the next episode.
Well, we're going on our first date, so please tune into every Monday at 10/9 Central to Bravo TV, Friends to Lovers, hashtag Friends to Lovers with a 2 in the middle. And you can actually we'll always be live tweeting about our experiences on the show and on our dates as we go forward. And we implore you guys to also tweet about if you got something bad to say, I guess you can. You're allowed, but
you don't need to.
We don't need
Let's
to.
have no negativity in 2015.
We're always, as we do,
switch the channel if you don't like it.
As we do go on this journey, we're always willing to learn. I'm always willing to learn what I can do different. What did I do maybe that could be different? Something I could have thought of more. I'm always open to that. Because this is life and life continues. Yeah. This is life and love, and you can always learn with life and love.
Definitely, and I mean we're always open to that for this show and that show.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely find us on Twitter. Mine is Male Methodology. Yours is
at Jin Beautiful.
Oh, and mine is at Sid Money.
Cool. You can find us on Twitter, Instagram.
Same. Twitter,
my Instagram is Sydney Hall of Fame. Sydney SYDNEY Hall of Fame.
And you got Facebook or what?
I have
other?
Facebook, Jin Mosley.
My Sydney Hall.
Okay.
2 Y's, no I's. Sydney, spelled like Australia. Sydney Hall.
It's funny because I've noticed a substantial amount of people spell your name wrong.
Yes, everyone spells my name wrong.
Yeah, and I never got that because I always spelled it right. Yeah. So you can find us at methodologyofthemodernmale.com. That's methodologyofthemodernmale.com. You can find us at facebook.com/themodernmale movement. You can find us on Twitter at Male Methodology, and you can find us on Instagram at Methodology of the Modern Male or Jerod Zavistoski. And special thanks to Bruce Householder for taking care of my boy
Bruce. Here. Yes, thank you very much.
Really came through in a clinch. I think that was like a
Burbank Semi-Valley chiropractor. Get it in. We mentioned his number earlier, so if you got any back problems, go check him out. He's excellent.
Yep, and that's all for tonight, folks. Thanks for tuning in to Modern Male Radio.
Peace.
You're listening to Modern Male Radio with Jerod Zavistoski and Sydney Hall, right here on LA Talk Radio.